This is I wanted to. Okay, I'm going to try to tread lightly on this story. This is, but while telling it as best I possibly can. We talk a lot on this show about right and wrong, how the world is insane, and things. You look. Sometimes you see things and you just have to take a stand. This weekend, something happened in my life where I had to take a stand. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this. My daughter is 11 years old, and she plays volleyball. And it's like a competitive volleyball league. This is a girls' volleyball league, and they have tournaments here that we go to, and we're pretty much at tournaments pretty much every weekend from January to whenever, summer. And my wife and I have had the discussion before, given everything that has happened in the world, that if there was ever a chance that a boy showed up on the other side of the court when our daughters are playing soccer or volleyball or basketball or anything else, we would not play. We would not let our daughters play. But we thought that'll never happen. And it happened this weekend, where we showed up and my daughter's in this all-girl volleyball tournament. There's a boy on the other side playing for this other team of all girls. Now, these are girls, these are 10, 11-year-old girls, right? And my initial thought when I saw this was, that's ridiculous, right? Why is there a boy playing on their team? And during warm-ups, he's jumping higher than everybody else. He's hitting harder than everybody else. And I'm immediately like, why is there, I go to the coach and I say, why is there a boy on the other team? And she's like, I just saw that. So we approach the head of the tournament and we're like, why is there a boy on their team? Well, apparently the rule is that up until the age of 12 and under, boys can play with girls as long as they're a year younger than the girls. So he would have been like 10 and the girls would have been 11, right? Or 11 or 12, something like that, right? If the girls are 12, he's 11. And so that was the rule. And the thought process behind the rule is that there's not enough boys teams for him to play on a boys team, so he can play on the girls team. If that's what the rule technically says, if there's not a boys team within 30 miles of where they live, which there definitely is because there are boys teams locally. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that there's a boy playing on the other team. And I was like, my wife and I had this conversation and we said that our daughter's not going to play in this situation. And she was really pissed at us for this. So, and to be clear, I don't blame, and this is not a boy thinking he's a girl, right? This is just a boy who wanted to play volleyball. I don't blame the boy. Who I was pissed at was the coach and the team that they're playing with, and the organization who's running the tournament, because they're forcing other parents to have this conversation with their kids. Multiple parents on the team were upset, but not upset to the point of pulling their daughters from the court. I was the only one. So I end up looking like the total jerk in this situation, right? And me and my wife look like the total jerks because we're not inclusive, right? And, my daughter's upset because she can't play, even though she wants to, right? But at a certain point, you got to be a dad or a parent, right? And we ended up having this bigger conversation. So with that said, am I the asshole?
No.
I think you're looking at the safety of your daughter first.
Yep.
And I think that is a respectable trait for a father who, like, in a world where a lot of parents are just kind of letting their kids do whatever they want, like, I think it's good that you're having the safety of your daughter first. Yes, it's going to piss her off, and yes, it's going to going to piss off the other parents. That I respect that you stuck to your guns with it and was just like, just because like the boy, like it's one of those where it is of course a difficult situation, because it's not like the boy is dressed like a girl or anything, which is the usual case for these types of situations. I think it's just an unfortunate situation for both parties. And I don't think you're the asshole in this. I think that it's a learning experience for your daughter. And as long as like you explained that to her, I like that you're looking out for her safety, show her examples of the other volleyball players who have been severely hurt by men in the sport. Like I think she would understand.
Well, it's so right, and I think that's something that we've had to have this discussion that they're like, well, the rules say this, and in Texas in particular, actually, the law says otherwise. Now, the law says that from K through 12, pretty much all through their education, they have to play based off of their biological sex, right? Now, this was not a school function, right? This is outside a private thing, so they don't necessarily have to play by those rules. So they didn't. And my thought was like, I feel for the kid. I really do. I feel for the boy. I know he wants to play, but tough luck. I'm sorry. That's them the breaks, kids. Those are the breaks, right? And if
It
you
hurt
really
someone
want
too. Like there's videos in
Yes.
volleyball, especially where women have gotten
Like
hurt
it's
from
not
men.
like the boy is not gonna play, right? Like doesn't he has like other options to go to other teams? And also
yes.
in case you remove like your daughter, she have another place that she can continue to play volleyball as well. As long as she keep like be able to play. Also 1 year, just 1 year is not enough. I think given all the entire situations, if it was like 3 years, maybe four, I would of difference, I would still accept that. But 1 year is just not enough. It's not enough. Even more given that is not like a kid from 6 to 7 years difference, but from 10 to 11 years, it's totally different.
Can I interject
I
real
don't
quick?
think it's enough. I think you've done the right thing.
Yeah,
Real
Phoenix.
fast, like the fact that there's already a rule that says, like, when you're starting to add all these things, like, okay, well, if they have to be 1 year younger, they have to, like, right there, there's the proof. There's a difference between boys and girls. Therefore, should not be on the same, like, it's right there. You just
Right.
mentioned it, right? It's it's in your little rule book, so they shouldn't be together.
Now, to be clear, this is high school right here, and yes, this is the boy who spiked it into the girl. She had a concussion, knocked
And
her
she
silly.
still has damage.
Right.
Like she's still
Oh my
suffering
God,
from it.
man.
So this is good that you said no, because this shit can happen to
No,
anybody.
and to be clear, this is a boy, right? This is not a young man yet.
Still, but he
right?
still can accidentally hurt the girl. That's
Correct.
the whole point.
Right. And for me, I had this. I don't want to get into like one dad came up and was like, I see it differently and stuff, and he because I was pretty adamant. I was like, and I more or less called out the parents. I said, all y'all, I said, we have all these parents here sitting on their hands, right? Because this is a slippery slope, right? And my thing is, if you have a boy on your team, they're like, well, he's not that good, whatever. Okay, fine, that's fine. Where is he going to be in 3 months, right? And if let's just say that boy is, let's just 25% better, okay? There's the old saying in sports and in life, right? Is it iron sharpens iron or whatever it is, right? The idea that if you're playing with somebody who's better, more athletic, stronger, whatever, then you naturally will improve over time. So my thing was, I was upset in the team and the parents that put everybody else in the situation, and they're like, well, you're cheating the boy out. No, it's like, no. They're cheating every other girl out of the situation and putting their parents in a tough situation just by him being here. And I'm sorry that you didn't have a boys team to play with that was close to you. But there is boys teams that are relatively close that if you really wanted to play, okay. And he can do it all the way up until this age group. Okay, that's the rule, is that the boy can play with the girls all the way up to this 12 and under age group. So all of a sudden, magically, are there just a bunch of boys teams that pop up at the 13 and under age group? No. No, there's not. They don't just magically appear. It's not like, well, all of a sudden there's this great demand for boys volleyball in Texas at the age of 12 and 13. No boys are playing that. And I'm sorry that it happens. But if you want to play it, you got to go find it. Them the breaks. You got to go out and find something better for, and let's just say he didn't play. They're like, I'm sorry, you can't play volleyball. You know what he's going to do? He's going to go play football or basketball or something else. He can do anything else. You just got to wait a year until you can find your boys team that is whatever. And by the way, there are boys teams in his age group that are local, once again, within 30 miles. So I got a lot of slack, a lot of grief from it over the weekend. It was one of those situations where we walked into the gym. We had 3 minutes to make a decision. We stuck with it the entire time. Like all the girls on the team were, I got a bunch of like 10, 11-year-old girls that are like mad at me, right? Because wouldn't let my daughter play. And I'm the jerk and some parents are, but my thought was, I talk about this all day long, and you either take a stand or you just get out of the way and you slide down the slippery slope.
Craig, you did the right thing. A father, a parent, is supposed to put their own child first above the world. This is what the West has forgotten. Screw other people's feelings. My kid is not getting hurt because of their Italian bassoonist feelings.
Thank you. That's Danny.
It doesn't benefit any of you having him on the team. Neither their parents and the boy himself, neither your daughter and the female team. None of them are benefiting from that.
That's my thought too. And thank you, Danny, for that. $25 for that. It's very generous. So anyways, I never thought that I would run into that situation. And it was always just like the strictly pie in the sky situation. And it's not the full, boy thinking he's a girl situation, but still, we had to do it. We had to stick to our guns. I will personally give you a high five if you subscribe. I will not actually give you a high five if you subscribe.